So,
B, don't be a dick.
okay, so first, you can hear her, right?
Yes.
That is Beatrice trying to play with T'Challa, and T'Challa saying, fuck you, you try attacking me. And B's like, no, it's play. It's not play.
Yeah.
Okay, so this finger, my different finger. Yeah. My ring finger on my right hand, the nail popped off again today. So I need to just let it heal all the way before I put on fake nails again. Because I just
if it's
hit
just
the door frame lightly and it just popped the whole nail off.
Yeah, in that case, then with your nail, you're just going to have to let it heal before you go get them done again.
Which is annoying because it's annoying.
But either that or you're going to, it's just going to keep happening.
Keep doing that.
There we go. You can still do your other ones for now or whatever, but that
and put a Band-Aid on it because for those of you if we put this on YouTube and stuff, you can see. But for those of you who can't, it's bloody all underneath it. It's nasty underneath the nail. T'Challa, don't get on the counter. Hey, stay off the counter, kitty. Okay, so I was gonna say the stuff that I can talk about. So I've been dealing with this recently. You know how during the healing process, I saw a TikTok about this recently, and I was like, yes. So the girl is saying, it was a silly video where she did it entertainingly, but basically she said, yeah, so I healed this, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to be better. Just kidding. Now this came up, and like that happened like 3 or 4 times until she realized, and now I know the healing process is continual. And I'm always going to be healed. Like something's going to come up next. There's always going to be something to work on. Whether it's like big issues, little issues, there's always going to be something. We're not going to become perfect in this life. So there's always going to be room for growth, and accepting that and choosing it is going to be so much better than trying to avoid it or trying to think I'm fine. Like, no, there's always going to be something. So, my thing right now, it's mostly harming me, not others, but I realized I hated about myself, which is that I am very, very content not doing anything. As in, I had to do my dishes for like 3 weeks. Didn't do them. My kitchen table was super messy for a few weeks. Didn't care. My room that I cleaned with my friend the other night, it's totally trashed again. My office that Adrian even came and helped me clean. Yep, there's stuff all over the floor again. Granted, the papers are still sorted, but I haven't taken those papers out to the recycling. I haven't, it's just become a mess again. I've put all my clothes on the floor instead of putting the bar up and organizing. Like tasks that take seconds to do, minutes maybe. I just don't do them, and I'm fine not doing them. And that bugs me because I want to be the kind of person who gets shit done. So today was a crazy day. I thought I had a hair appointment at 8 and then work at 9:30. Turns out my hair appointment was at 9:45 and my work is at noon. So, oops. So, I mean, it's fine.
Is right, yeah.
Because I got up and I was ready for the day. So I did the dishes. I cleaned off the table. Once the dishes are done in the dishwasher, I'll empty them, and then there's more dishes that need to be done. But still, and I empty, like I did a few of the bigger tasks that have been bugging me, even though they took genuinely 10 minutes to do. Hello, Pippin Quest. Hello, sunshine. The earth says hello.
That reminds me of Anna from Elsa. The sky's awake, so I'm awake, so I want to play.
That's so many kids. if the sun's out, it's daytime. If the sun's down, it's nighttime. It's like, yeah, except for summer. But anywho, so yeah, so that's what I'm working on right now, is learning to be diligent. However, it's so annoying because for things like depression, when someone says, well, just stop being sad, it's like, you're an idiot. You actually need tools and stuff. But for diligence, there's not much you can do aside from do the things.
Right.
Like, there's not a magic, like, take a pill and all of a sudden you're diligent. Like, yeah, you can take medicine. Like, I have ADHD. I can take
That'd be
ADHD meds.
fantastic if
That helps
did
me
that.
be able to focus, but it doesn't change my habit of not
Right.
focusing. Like, it doesn't change the habit of not giving a shit. I haven't showered in a week. I don't care. Like, that's not what I want to choose. That's just what I don't care about.
Right.
So it's annoying, especially because I read something basically. It's in the book that I started reading by David Hollis. He's the husband of Rachel Hollis, who wrote I still haven't read them, but I should. The Girl, Wash Your Face or Wash Your Hair or whatever those books are. Girl, just do it. I need to read those. But he talks about when they went on vacation once. He had a good life. He loved his wife, loves his kids. His job's a good job, but he was just kind of coasting and getting depressed. And I haven't gotten far enough into it to know what he did to get out, but she handed him the manuscript for I can't remember what it's called, but Girl, Wash something.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm going to look it up real quick.
I think it is Girl, Wash Your Face.
Yeah.
It is.
So okay, perfect. So Girl, Wash Your Face. She handed him the manuscript on the trip, and he was reading it, and it outlined a ton of shit that showed how their struggles and stuff in their earlier life, and it just put him on a downward spiral. And eventually it got to the point where he was just drinking all the time.
I know. I'm trying to change it. It's on Pippin Quest. It's on Twitch that it's doing that, not the rest of the places. So I'm working
weird.
on it. Anyway.
Okay.
Continue.
That'll be edited out. So he's talking about this, saying she actually sat him down one time and said, look, I love self-help. I love improving. I am constantly going to be changing and growing. With that, if I'm doing that and you're not, where are we going to be in 3 months? What are we going to have to talk about in 6 months, 3, 5 years? Like, it was the very, very, very beginning of the path that would lead to irrevocable differences and divorce. And she didn't want that. He didn't want that. So he had to step up. And I think that's the basis of the whole book. He does self-help and stuff, and he gets into it. And I was just thinking about that. Let me look. But as I look that up, so I was thinking about this with Ivan, because he is constantly improving. So Dave Hollis's book is Get Out of Your Own Way. And I pulled that up because of the procrastination and everything. And I'm like, let's listen to some books.
I need to read Girl, Wash Your Face, because I've heard
Me too.
contradicting information on this.
Oh, really?
I've heard that it's great, and I've heard that it's more just like you're being lazy and you need to just shut up and do it.
No.
So I need to read it for myself and find out where it lies, So
yeah, I think it depends on on the person. Because me right now, it's lazy habit. It really is. That is what it is. For some people, it's not. Some people, if you're in the middle of depression, then
Right.
yeah, like get help. But once you're like, I'm on meds, I'm not depressed right now, but I still have those habits. So anyway, the point is though, that conversation he and his wife had of where are we going to be if I'm doing the self-help, I was like, I know that Ivan is a cleaner person than me, but also he is constantly improving himself. He does do self-help. I usually do, but right now, if I let this go and don't give a shit about it, where will we be? Will he be okay with that? Probably not. So I was like, okay, I have to do something. So that's my story. And if anyone has suggestions on how you went from being a lazy fucker to being a diligent person, please let us know. Because I want to be a diligent person. Even with exercise and stuff though, like I have, oh my gosh, I have these stretches and exercises that my mom's personal trainer and my friend gave me for my lower back because I have extreme, sometimes it's piercing back pain and stuff at work because I'm standing 8 hours a day now. And I haven't done them once since I started working. Instead, I'm just, oh, I'm in pain. And it's like, yeah, but you could do 5 minutes of exercises that would help lessen that. And over a month, it would greatly lessen it if I did it for a month. But do I? No. I don't even wash my face every day. Like it's unhealthy. Anywho, so that's my thing. That's
The first thing is recognizing that it's a problem.
Yeah. Well, I've done the first thing a few times over. So now I need the second thing.
The second thing, I mean, I'm not the best example at this because I'll do it, I'll fail, I'll do it, I'll fail. Anyway, but from what I've gathered from so many like self-help books and all that was, I mean, especially for ADHD people, we got to break it down to the bare minimum.
That's actually what our listener also said. She, I'm not sure, said I make lists, and even just checking off one thing on the list is incredible some days. But you have to take that one thing as a success, not as a failure. So yes, it's like sometimes it's not getting this done, it's getting this done.
It's getting the number one thing done. And like I said too, like I strongly believe in the 20-second rule. If it's going to take you 20 seconds more to do something, you're less likely to do it.
Isn't that from Atomic Habits?
No.
Oh, it's from, which also I have that book on hold, but it's like months out.
I just got it again, so I can read it again.
Nice.
It's one of those ones that I always renew, as well as How to Win Friends and Influence People, because I'm like, okay.
I have that one on hold as well.
Did Rachel write this book? Because I feel like Rachel wrote this book.
I do love people.
I feel like you wrote that book.
That one is 8 weeks out for me, and Atomic Habits is several months because I don't want to read. I want it read to me.
Listen. Yep, me too. So with that though, no, I don't remember where the 20-second rule exactly came from. I think it was just a YouTube or something. But someone was saying, I think it was actually one of like if I find it, I will totally post credit.
Give credit, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't remember exactly. I think it was on one of my ADHD
from probably that chick that you love.
It wasn't her though, because this one was a drawing, like it was a drawing board one.
Okay.
So it was like they were drawing it out. Basically the concept is, let's say you want to play guitar.
Okay.
But your guitar sits in your garage in its case on a shelf. How often is that guitar going to get played?
Not.
Now, what if you bought a stand, put the guitar right next to the couch that you normally go and sit and watch TV at?
Well, I was actually thinking about this the other day. First of all, yes, a lot more. Okay, so there was a time in my life that I was actually doing everything that I wanted. And I think I've shared this with you guys before. It was like 2 months of my life way back 8 years ago. No, not 8 years ago. At this point, it's like 13 years ago or something. And I was exercising every day. I was keeping my home clean. I did my nails every week. And I did my nails, so they were kept nice and stuff. And I remembered the one thing about my nails, I filed them like nightly and stuff so they wouldn't break. They wouldn't get a little snag and then that snag becomes bigger and whatnot. I kept that stuff right by my bed. So it was part of my nightly routine to check my nails and make sure that they were smooth. Now I get them done aside from this sucker, so I don't have to do that nightly. But yes, it was that 20-second rule. By the way, it looks like that's part of a book or something called Design Your Life.
Design Your Life.
Principle number 6, the 20-second rule.
Okay. I mean, maybe they took it and
But then a lot of people talk about it.
Okay.
Use laziness to your
I don't remember
advantage, the
that.
20-second rule. That specifically. Yeah. But anyway.
Okay. Yeah,
So it's
I don't
a known
remember reading
principle.
that specific book, but I think I saw probably someone else then did a, thing on it.
Cited it. Yeah. Perfect. But yeah, it's totally true. If you're able to, and I think for me, a part of what it was is usually if I don't work until noon, I'll lay in bed until 11. So the fact that I thought I had to be up, got dressed, and then had a few hours. That's also why we're recording right now, even though we haven't recorded together in a few weeks, because we keep pushing it off and I keep neglecting this. So I think on the days that I don't work until noon, I need to still get up, get dressed, get ready as if I was working at 9:30. So just getting up at 8 a.m., not insanely early. I'm not going to start getting up at 5 a.m. and doing all the things. No, just get up at 8. And then if I get dressed and do 1 or 2 things and then want to take a nap, go ahead.
Yeah,
but get up at 8.
Don't set those expectations. I'm going to get up at 5 when you know dang well you're not going to.
Oh, never. I will not get up at 5 a.m.
But I know, but if someone is saying hey, I want to get a goal that I'm getting up at 5 a.m., but right now you're getting up at 8, 9, 10, that's not a feasible goal.
Make it just okay, if I'm getting up at 9 and I want to get up at 10, start at 8:30. Then once that's easy, 8. Once that's easy, 7:30. Once that's easy, slowly transition, not jump. But yeah, and so that's the thing where it's okay, if I get up at 8, because I do get up at 8 frequently for the days that I do work at 9:30, so that's feasible. Get up at 8, and then if I want to nap, go ahead, but get up first. Get up, do whatever I need to in the morning, brush my teeth, get dressed, feed the dogs,
Yeah.
And I also need to start reading scriptures again because I missed that.
Well, I'm going to be honest too. I was starting to get into a little of depressive state because my unemployment is over.
Life stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So my unemployment is over, and it's not that we can't pay our bills because we can, but now it's we can pay our bills have
tightly
some money
instead
for the
of
kids,
comfortably.
and it's very tight. I mean, let's face it, when Dustin has a new job, I didn't care. You want to go buy a 4-wheeler? I don't freaking care. Like, the thing is we didn't go
Yeah.
out and like get this huge payment on this thing or whatever. No, we just bought it. But I was like, I don't care. Like, you're making extra money. I could care less. And I've always kind of felt like this. I need to provide and make my own way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's hard because my mom, but I didn't even realize that this is something that I did, because my mom was even talking to me. She's like, you've always done that though. You've had a job since you were 14. Like, you've always been so independent and wanting to make something for yourself, that
Which isn't a bad thing until it becomes anxiety inducing, which, to be fair, stress isn't a bad thing. It can be a motivator. It's how you deal with it. So having it be a thing where a demoralizing thing, that's not healthy.
Right. So honestly, I mean, I was so pumped up the first little bit, but I also, me and Dustin have already talked about this when we've already dealt with it, but I also was like, why the fuck am I putting my all into this if I'm just going to go back to like a job that I absolutely hate? Like, why put all this effort into something and get like pennies?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if I'm going to have to go back. So then I just like, and I mean, me and Dustin like had this talk too, because I was feeling like, because he's like, so when you either, you know, are making what you were making at your other job doing the podcast, or get another job, then we can start to do this. And I was like, well, that's great. But like, so that, and he's like, I'm all in for you to do the podcast and everything. I'm all in for that. But then he says shit like that. And so I had to have a conversation with him. Yeah. I'm like, first of all, I was like, what do you want from me? Do you want me to do the podcast? Do you not want me?
Right.
Like, what do you want? And then I took a step back and I was like, okay, here's the thing. We can pay our bills. My money is extra money. Yes, I feel like right now, like, I can't really spend anything. But that's okay.
It's okay to not have extras on occasion.
It's okay. And we're not like not gonna not have our house. Like,
yeah,
we're gonna be fine. It's okay. And then I decided, you know what? Fuck it. Especially with not having to fill out like applications every week, of not having to have that
saves some time.
No. But it's not even that. It's, I would sit there and mentally be like, yeah, I could do this. Like, I would be good at this and I could do this job. So I've decided, I said, nope, fuck it. Guess what? I'm a creator and a podcaster.
That's owning it.
And I told Dustin, I was like, it's not if, it's when. It's when I make this much. I'm like, I don't want to hear, I can't hear those words if, because those words are damaging. Yeah. They are.
Oh, even like, Ivan, he said we're not allowed to say if we get married, it's when kind of thing. Because if implies I'm not sure maybe. I'm actually in love with you. Yeah.
Right.
And our listener also mentioned they can pay their bills and that's it. And I looked it up because my brother mentioned this to me.
You're cutting in and out, girl.
Oh, seriously? Why? Is this any better?
No.
If well, fuck.
You like censored yourself. Mother. She's good on your end? Okay. Well, as long as you're good on her end, then.
Okay. And if we need to re-record any of this, we can. Yeah. It says 63% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, including nearly half of six-figure earners.
Oh, yeah.
So a part of it is our spending habits. But part of it is just, it's hard. It's
Our
hard.
economy is shit. Like, let's face it, like when they are basing that too, they're like, oh well, minimum wage can be this much. Okay, but that is basing it off of just a rental payment. That is not basing it off of
Yeah.
the fact that, you know what, most human beings in the United States need a car. It's not they want a car. It's they need.
It's only those in like Manhattan that don't need a car.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Like everyone else, our public transportation is not great.
It sucks. Like, are you kidding me? I couldn't get around just on our transportation.
Oh, hell no. Like maybe, but well, you have kids and stuff, but for me to get to work and stuff, yeah, I could, but it would add 2-hour commutes for my job that's 7 minutes away. Like, I don't want to do that. Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And our listener,
exactly,
closest grocery store is 20 minutes away. Transportation would take 2 hours. We're not going to do that. Hey, we need groceries, so let's take 2. Like, no.
Yeah.
That's preposterous.
It is.
So yeah, it's difficult. And that's where it's like, yes, I want to get out of that paycheck to paycheck cycle. But
the world we live in, like, not just the world we live in, but the United States is not made to like do that. Yeah, I was just reading a thing on too saying that, okay, single people, okay, this is not like with family or whatever, but single people, for them to live comfortably, they need about $60,000 to $70,000.
I am not doing that.
Well, exactly. And the fact that, you shouldn't be living paycheck to paycheck and working 2 jobs and spending no time with our loved ones. It's awful. And I have a theory. Okay, so a theory that goes with mental health. And I've been thinking about this a lot. I mean, I don't have any real evidence to back this up besides my own sanity. And the fact that I've lived with Dustin, who literally works basically a part-time job as a full-time job. He gets paid full-time for it. But I really believe that as human beings, our mental health is just as important as our physical health.
Oh my gosh, yes. Our mental health impacts our physical health.
But it also impacts our children.
Oh, 1,000%.
So
I don't have to worry about that.
Right. But if someone could spend 25 to 30 hours, and I also feel like the whole micromanaging thing is terrible. Okay, so let's face it.
I'm so glad my manager doesn't do that. I love my job.
Okay, so let's just take this for example. So Dustin's work, there's different departments and stuff, right? So they're kind of ran different ways by different managers. So they just had one person come over from here and they hired her to his team, right? And she's to help him out. So she said that she was working, she had a salary job, but she was to clock in and out and make sure that she got her 40 hours in every single day. And if she missed some time, she needed to make sure. Yeah, every week she needed to make sure that she got those done. And that they were in a Zoom every day together, and they had their cameras on and their mics to make sure that they were working at home. So she comes over and she's like, so I don't have to clock in and out? And they're like, no, you're an adult. Do your job. You won't get fired.
I mean, I have to clock in and out, but that's because I'm hourly. Like,
but you're hourly. But like she's hourly.
But
that just shows like what kind of management style. Here's the thing: is his department hasn't had anyone leave in 15 years.
Wow. Versus the other one, I'm sure they come and go.
Oh, their turnover rate is terrible because Dustin's actually always having to set their new computers up and stuff. Like he sets
I believe
them up
it.
So their turnover rate is absolutely terrible. But she came over and she's like, this is totally different. I'm so used to having like, someone over my shoulder basically the whole time. And now I'm just told do my job and everything's cool.
Yeah. Well, that's like my job. Some of us are late rather consistently. It's not like the only time I can't be late is when I'm opening in the morning, but for like when I'm supposed to be there at noon, let's say I get there at 12:15. There's no ramification. Like there's no write up. There's no, I love that it's kind of a, yeah, you'll get here. Like
we're trusting you to be an adult.
Yeah. And then once I'm there, I'm doing the job well. Although all the stuff we were talking about earlier, it came to a head last week. And I'm sorry, work, if you hear this, when I decided I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to get dressed. And so I took a nap for 2 hours, knowing I was going to be late. 2 hours late. And I just didn't give a fuck. I was like, yep, it's happening. And that's something where I'm like, that's not good. This is impacting my livelihood. And if it becomes a habit, if I'm habitually 2 hours late, that would be an issue. 5-10 minutes here and there, whatever. But being that late.
And a day for your mental health, okay. But yeah, you can't, you honestly can't be doing that every day.
And a day for my mental health, I have 2 days off a week. Like I can typically do stuff on those days. I can schedule or not schedule things so I can be sure to rest. Also, Ellie is standing here right next to me, just staring at me while I pet her chin.
Because it's adorable.
She's
Mine's under my desk.
Good. Thank you.
She absolutely loves them. She'll tell you where you want to get them.
I buy direct. And if you sign up for their texts, you can get buy one, get one free.
And they're not affiliated. She just loves them.
I love them. Yeah.
Yes. They do. They have really cool ones. And they're actually pretty cheap too.
Yes. I got 2 pair, this one and another one for $60-ish. With the lenses, of course, because I almost said I'm blind. I'm not blind, but the world would be fuzzy. Just slightly. Things far away would be slightly fuzzy. So. And I have astigmatism in that eye. So I need it corrected.
Gotcha.
So I don't get headaches. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. No, I feel you. Because, I felt like I caught myself going into a depressive state. And I did. I caught myself going in there. And I'm like, okay. I told Dustin, I'm like, if you really, here's the thing, is I think with guys, too, they feel like, I can't come to you and be like, hey, I want to support you, but fuck, we need money,
Yeah.
But he also wants to be the supporting husband and then just kind of tell me what I want to hear, but that's not how he really feels. And I'm like, Kate, I need to know how you're feeling, how this affects you. What is our game plan if this doesn't work? Do I have a timeline to make our podcast work? Do I have something? I'm like, I need to know. And then I need to know that I have your full support, because if I don't, I'm just going to doubt myself and this is not going to work for me.
Yeah.
So once I got that confirmation from him, and I was like, don't say if, I need you to say when. I literally had to tell him, this is what I need from you. And I think that's one thing that we're hard at doing, as directly not for you, because you're a weird breed, but normally for women, we have a hard time speaking our mind and being
saying what we need.
Yeah.
It's because we're typically nurturers.
Yes, and so it's offer in the inside.
Yeah. We're nurturers. So we think we're supposed to take care of others. So the idea that others need to take care of us emotionally can be hard. It's not our go-to typically.
Yeah. But it doesn't have to be. That's what I'm saying. Like,
No, yeah.
Guys are screaming at us to be like, bitch, tell me what the fuck is going on in your brain. Okay?
Yeah.
But one thing too, I always have to, I mean, I even tell this to like my kids if they want to know something, but like for my husband, I'm like, do you want to know? Because I can guarantee you probably will not like what I have to say. And it's not in a mean when we're fighting. There's a different type of level too of when you bring this up. It is not in the stakes are high. We're yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. Subbing and liking. Awesome. But yeah, it's not in that we're pissed off at each other. It's we're both calm. We're both
now
like
let's talk.
Neutral. Now let's talk. I will preach and preach and preach. I hate the don't fight before you go to bed. Fucking sleep it off. And then guess what? Your brain is refreshed at that point.
Yup. And then you can actually talk calmly about it.
Games are calm for you. Me too. But I do believe that there's a balance that you need to have when it comes to gaming. And it depends on what kind of games you're talking about. If you're talking about board game. Like, okay, I'm a big gamer. She doesn't know what any of that is. But I love Pokemon. I love the games and the like I have a Switch deck. I have a Switch. A Steam Deck. That's what it is. Not Switch deck. Switch deck. Oh my gosh. You like Minecraft? Yeah. Okay. Minecraft is very creative.
And knowing what your calm down is important too, because like one time Ivan and I had a discussion where I felt super, super hurt and vulnerable. And I knew I was not going to be able to talk about it without sobbing and being incoherent and being reactive. So knowing what will ground me, whatever that is important. So for some people, it's going to be games. For me, it was going to bed because it was like 11 at night. Sometimes it's reading a book. Sometimes it's writing down in my journal. Like knowing what is going to help you process your emotions to get you to a level where you can choose to act instead of react is good. And so if you're using these things as an escape, that's not healthy. If you're using it to process, that is healthy. And what you will use to process and calm down might, for me, be an escape. It's very individual. So knowing that for yourself, so you can move on, you can choose what you're doing is healthy. So you can get to that point where you can speak coherently and address the situation. Of course, the whole going to bed thing, like if you're having this disagreement at 11 a.m., yeah, maybe you can talk about it before bed tonight, but if it's right before bed, you know what? I don't think I can talk about this right now. Let's go to bed and discuss tomorrow. Like, yes, that's okay.
Yes. Well, and then, like even like going in and going into another room, like even if you're in the same house, go in another room. And yes, Pokemon card sorting.
That's not a calm down for me.
It definitely is though. Like for me, like it is very calming and like finding what decks to make and I may have
for
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 binders right by me and a whole bunch of tins.
Exactly. Someone else, that's a stress for them. Like, and it would be a stress for me because I'd have to figure out what they are.
Cards. I'll do them for you.
Seriously, if you shipped them to Adrienne, she would and ship them back. It would happen.
Well,
what time is it? I have to go soon.
Okay.
Now that I know I have to.
Let me do them for you.
Email us if you guys have any insights for moving from paycheck to paycheck. There's so many self-help things. or tips for me about how to get out of the habit of laziness. If you have any topics that you want us to discuss, email us at adriannandrachel@gmail.com.
Yeah.
It's also on our website, questforsanity.com. You can hit us up there. And please do subscribe and like us, submit a review. If you like this, don't sit a review. If you don't like us, yeah.
You know what? If you do, Rachel will just nice you and become your friend.
I will. It's what I do. I love you all, even if you hate us.
If you hate us, she's gonna like you.
I still love you.
Friend. She's like, yes. Jesus. What would Rachel do?
I'm not like Jesus, but he is my buddy. He is my bestie. But I want to be like him.
He's a badass.
I'm working on it. He is a badass, and I am striving to be more like him, which is why I want to become more diligent, because that bastard was diligent.
All right, guys.
And on that note.